I want you to picture something unusual. You're moving through an ordinary day, doing the same things you've done 100 times before, when a message appears and instantly grabs your attention. It claims that one of the world's most recognizable innovators has a surprising thought about who belongs in your life. At first, it sounds absurd. Why would a visionary known for pushing the boundaries of technology, transportation, and space exploration have anything to say about your personal relationships? The idea seems almost impossible to take seriously, yet curiosity has a funny way of pulling us in. The more unexpected the message, the harder it becomes to ignore. Your mind starts racing. Who could this mysterious person be? Why would their name be so shocking? Why does the possibility feel strangely intriguing, even when logic tells you it's nothing more than a captivating thought experiment? In a world where people are constantly connected through screens, but often feel disconnected from one another, messages like these tap into something deeper. They spark the hope that somewhere out there is a connection waiting to be discovered, a person who could change everything simply by walking into your life. Suddenly, what began as a random notification becomes a question you can't stop thinking about, not because of the famous name attached to it, but because it touches on a universal curiosity about destiny, relationships, and the unexpected turns life can take. For a moment, the noise of the world fades into the background, leaving only a sense of anticipation. And as that mystery lingers, one question remains. If there really were a name waiting to be revealed, would it be someone you've never met, or someone who's been closer than you ever realized? Who is it? Why you? Why now? Does someone really know you better than you know yourself? Or is this just your mind filling in the blanks where the world has gone silent? Let's breathe for a second, in and out, because what's about to happen may just tilt the axis of what you believe about luck, love, and timing. I want you to ask yourself a question. When was the last time you really listened, not just to someone else, but to that tiny voice inside, the one that only gets louder when the world gets quiet? Now, if you're still listening, you've already made a choice other people miss. Most have scrolled away by now. That's how it is. People come looking for entertainment, for a quick thrill, for something to fill the silence, and miss the one message meant to change everything. Not you. You're curious enough to imagine that, just maybe, the next few moments could reveal a name that has the power to rewire your reality. Remember the first time you read something that changed the way you saw the world. Maybe it was a quote on a wall, a line from a movie, or lyrics you played on loop because they said what you couldn't. Today, you're one step away from that kind of moment, because today, Elon Musk says he wants you to be with the person, and the name will shock you. You already get it, don't you? That's not just about romance, or relationships, or even Musk's own wildlife. It's about something else, something almost mystical, hiding in plain sight. Pause for just a heartbeat. Are you ready to let go of what's ordinary? Are you ready to step to the edge of the unknown, right where life always gets interesting? You've watched enough stories about breakthroughs to know it's the people who lean in that get the gift. It's the ones who keep listening, even as the world screams at them to walk away, that get to see behind the curtain. You're probably wondering, what could Elon Musk possibly know about who you should be with? Is he going to say a celebrity, an old flame, your worst enemy, or maybe someone you haven't even met yet? The questions keep piling up. Your heart pounds out the seconds. Your brain tries to connect impossible dots. Why would one of the busiest minds on the planet, one who literally schedules his day in 5-minute blocks, waste a single moment thinking about you and your relationships? That's the hook, isn't it? It's almost uncomfortable, but if you know anything about Elon Musk, you know he doesn't do normal things. He doesn't say the obvious. He doesn't deliver answers. He delivers questions so big they force you to become more than you were before. So right now, picture yourself at a crossroads. The world is noisy. Your phone buzzes 100 times a day, most of it empty. But once, maybe only once, a message cuts through. It isn't just information, it's a signal, it's a test. And I want to ask, are you brave enough to see how deep the rabbit hole goes? Are you really? Because most people say they want answers, but run away when things get personal. Let's talk about why you're still here. It's not just about Musk, it's because some small part of you, the real part, wonders if the world still has magic hiding in the margins. Maybe, secretly, you're hoping this message is about more than love. Maybe you want permission to rewrite your own story. Or, maybe, you've already guessed. This isn't about who you should date, marry, or friend on social media at all. Maybe the name you're about to hear is the name you've forgotten. Pause, and let that sink in. You see, every life is shaped by decisions, some small, some seismic, but the most important ones always feel like a puzzle. You don't know you've solved it until the last piece clicks. That's why tonight, or in the morning, or whenever you hear this, I want you to treat these minutes as a threshold, because inside every threshold, inside every ordinary day, is a secret waiting for the one person who won't look away. So, are you ready to find out the name? Are you sure? Breathe with me, because once the curtain lifts, the world never feels quite the same again. The strange part is, most people, if you ask them who controls their story, they'd shrug, maybe toss out some half-step answer like, I guess I do, sometimes. But deep down, they're waiting for something or someone to give them a sign, to nudge them in a new direction. Isn't that what we all do? We wait for fate, or destiny, or the universe to slip a message under the door. Most of us are so busy waiting, we don't even see the messages as they arrive. And yet, here you are. Out of 7 billion people, you're the one listening as Elon Musk says he wants you to be with the person, and the name is going to shock you. That's not by accident. That's not luck. That's a signal you can only pick up if you're ready for it. Pause for a second. Honestly, really pause, because there is a real tension between who we are and who we could be. You feel it in the mornings, when you wonder if you're waking up to someone else's alarm, living someone else's plan. You feel it in the choices you make, the ones that haunt you and the ones that thrill you. Picture a moment from your past that quietly redirected the course of your life. It may not have arrived with fireworks or fanfare. Perhaps it was a brief conversation, a chance encounter, or a decision that seemed ordinary at the time. Looking back, however, it became the turning point that separated who you were from who you would become. The remarkable thing is that life presents these crossroads far more often than most people realize. Opportunities rarely announce themselves. They appear quietly, hidden beneath routines, worries, and endless distractions. Some individuals learn to recognize them. They understand that growth often begins where comfort ends. People admired for their achievements are not defined solely by success, wealth, or recognition. What truly sets them apart is their willingness to respond when possibility appears, even when the outcome is uncertain. They stumble, make mistakes, and face criticism like everyone else, but they continue moving forward instead of standing still. Somewhere within your own story, there may be a signal you've been overlooking, not because it isn't there, but because you've become accustomed to searching everywhere except the place that matters most. Think about the names and faces that have shaped your journey. Friends, family members, mentors, rivals, and strangers all leave their mark. Yet the person whose potential is easiest to underestimate is often the one staring back from the mirror. It's curious how people can believe in extraordinary futures, distant dreams, and limitless possibilities, while doubting their own capacity to create meaningful change. So many spend their days reacting to noise instead of listening to themselves. The question is not whether opportunity exists. The question is whether you're willing to recognize it when it appears. They drown out the voice that says, "Go left, not right. Speak up, don't shrink. Build, don't wait." But you, right now, are closer than you've ever been. There's a pattern to all those who break out, who create ripples so vast the world remembers their names. They all have one thing in common. They answer the call, even while doubting, trembling, falling apart. A call like this, a mysterious name, delivered by one of the world's visionaries, pulsing with energy that doesn't care if you're ready or not. Let's get even more real. You want to know the truth. Most relationship advice out there, it's about tactics, do's and don'ts. Become more attractive, say these words, avoid these people. That's easy. You can follow rules and still miss your real destiny by 1,000 miles. But what about the name you're supposed to remember? Maybe one you've spent years trying to forget. What happens if, just for tonight, you let yourself think the unthinkable? Is it possible that the name isn't even someone you've met? Or maybe it's only waiting for you on the other side of a yes or a no, one decision away from rewriting your entire orbit. Elon Musk is obsessed with orbits. He knows trajectories can be altered by a single burst, one moment of courage, one impossible risk. Breathe. Let your mind wander through the names that mattered, names that broke and healed you, names you carry as scars or medals, names you whisper on lonely nights or shout in wild joy when nobody's around. But the name you need isn't on some list. It's not scrawled in someone else's yearbook or etched on a wedding invitation. The person Elon Musk wants you to be with is not who you think. That's why it's shocking. That's why it matters. So why does a message like this matter now? Why today, of all days? Because time, real opportunity, doesn't sit still. Just like Musk sends rockets to catch windows only open for seconds, your life turns on rare, hidden launch windows. If you miss it, the next shot could be months, years, or never again. Let's not sugarcoat it. This is your launch window. A chance to pause, breathe, and finally look at the name you've ignored, the one that's already inside your story. Are you getting nervous? That's good. Nerves mean you're close. Nerves mean your old world is getting shaky and something new is about to arrive. Right now, I'm asking more of you than a click or a scroll. I'm asking you to tune in past the distractions, to feel the deeper pulse beneath the surface of your life, because what's coming next, that's the real shock, and honestly, most people go their entire lives without ever hearing it. You're still here. You're not like everyone else. Most have let the message fade. You haven't. So before this message disappears, let me share something I bet you've never heard. The name, your name, is the actual code to unlock a version of yourself you've buried under a lifetime of noise. Pause. Let that echo. Elon Musk wants you to be with the person whose name will shock you, and that name is waiting in the next moment you let yourself listen. Sometimes, the things that change us aren't just massive events. They're a single piece of truth that finally lands in the right place. You're here because you can feel it. Something is circling, getting closer. That's the electricity of the unknown, the sense that a message meant for you is just about to break through. You want to know the name. Every second, your mind flips through possibilities. But the real question is, are you ready to see yourself differently? Are you ready to let old stories break apart so something new can take shape? See, most people think life is a slow drift, that we're just passengers waiting for the next wave. But if you study the icons, the outliers, people like Musk, They don't drift. They grab the world by its corners and bend it. They aren't waiting for someone to choose them, or love them, or give them permission. So this message, a message about who you should be with, it's not about Musk knowing some secret about you. It's Musk reminding you that every future worth living starts with an act of courage. Let's slow down for a second. You ever notice how sometimes the simplest ideas can shake you the hardest? Like, what if the love of your life was closer than you ever realized? What if your greatest partner was someone the world told you to ignore? Or worse, someone you've ignored yourself? Now, take a breath. Let your heart beat steady, because we're closer than we've ever been to the moment of truth. You might expect now for some gigantic twist, maybe a celebrity crush, a first love, a destiny wrapped in someone else's arms. But what if the answer is even deeper? What if, after thousands of years and billions of lives, the only name that ever truly matters is the one you see when you look in the mirror? That's the name. That's the person. The one that should shock you. It's you. Hang on. Don't click away. Let that hit. Strange as it may sound, one of the most important truths in life is also one of the most overlooked. People spend years searching for the perfect opportunity, the perfect relationship, or the perfect mentor, believing that the missing piece of their future exists somewhere outside themselves. From childhood onward, we're encouraged to focus on others, earning approval, meeting expectations, and finding the people who will complete our journey. Yet very few conversations center on the relationship that shapes every single moment of our lives, the one we have with ourselves. That's where everything begins. Before success can be built, before trust can be earned, before dreams can become reality, there has to be a solid foundation within. Think about it for a moment. Every challenge you face, every decision you make, and every goal you pursue is experienced through the person you are today. The future doesn't arrive because someone else hands it to you. It grows from the choices you make when nobody is watching. Real transformation starts when you stop measuring your worth against other people's stories and begin investing in your own. Instead of waiting for confidence, build it. Instead of searching for direction, create it. The people who achieve remarkable things aren't necessarily the most gifted. They're often the ones who learn to trust themselves enough to move forward despite uncertainty. Life rarely rewards the person you imagine becoming someday. It responds to the person you're willing to shape through consistent effort, courage, and self-belief. The moment you accept that responsibility, the path ahead begins to look very different. You want contrast? Here it is. Most people live their lives waiting to be chosen. For a lover, a boss, a friend to declare, "You are worthy, you are special." But the world changes not when you're chosen, but when you choose yourself. Ask yourself, no, really ask, what if everything you want starts with saying yes to your own name? What if the shocking truth isn't about someone else stepping in to rescue you, but stepping up and saving yourself? Here's where this matters. People like Elon Musk, they're not immune to loneliness or doubt or fear. He's talked about it, a sense of isolation, being misunderstood, marching alone toward a vision nobody else can see. But what separated him wasn't luck or being picked from a crowd. It was the insane, almost reckless willingness to say, no matter what, I've got to believe in myself, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Your name, that's what was missing this whole time. All those heartbreaks, those restless nights, the feeling of being less than, that's the echo of forgetting the only name you were ever supposed to fight for. Hang here with this. Don't let your mind run away just yet. Most people get uncomfortable at this part, but that's good. That discomfort, that's the edge of change. Pause. You're still here. I see you. And you know what's wild? Most people, if they make it this far, they realize they wanted the name to be a twist, a puzzle, a secret in someone else. But the greatest secrets are always hiding in plain sight. The name you ignore is the person you need to bring home. So what do you do next? How do you become the person worth being with? Musk didn't build companies by waiting for a boss. He taught himself rocket science because no one else would. He faced public failures and shrugged them off because he'd already decided the only name that mattered was the one he signed at the bottom of every risk. Here's the action step. Take a breath. Commit, right now, to stop waiting, to stop running, to stop looking for validation in someone else's voice. Say the name, your name, out loud, if you dare. Feel it land in your chest, because the truth is, you are the person Elon Musk wants you to be with, the name that shocks. It's yours. So, what if from this moment on, you walked through your life as if you were the person you were meant to meet? What if that love, that respect, that bravery, what if it all started from the inside out, not the outside in? Because it's not a trick, not a game. It's the deepest truth, waiting behind every quest, every late-night thought, every risk you were ever too scared to take. Be with the person whose name is yours. Some shifts in life don't announce themselves. They unfold quietly, almost unnoticed, until everything feels different. What changes isn't the world itself, but the way you begin to see it, as if your awareness has been tuned to a sharper frequency. Opportunities start to appear less like rare events and more like patterns waiting to be noticed and acted upon. Even the randomness of daily encounters begins to feel meaningful, as though there is a subtle rhythm guiding your attention toward the right moments. You start to trust those small internal signals, the instinctive nudges that suggest when to move forward, when to pause, and when to let something go. With time, the habit of settling for less begins to fade, replaced by a clearer sense of what you will no longer accept from yourself or your surroundings. This isn't about isolation or walking a solitary path, but about becoming aligned enough that connection itself changes in quality. When that alignment settles in, you naturally draw toward people who resonate with your direction, rather than those who merely observe from a distance. These are not passive audiences, but active companions, individuals who share momentum, curiosity, and a willingness to build something real together. Life begins to feel less like something you watch, and more like something you co-create, moment by moment, with intention and presence. That is where real change quietly takes root and continues to grow. That's when you attract what most people spend a lifetime chasing: the partner, the collaborator, the tribe, the love that doesn't have to be earned over and over. They're drawn to your courage, not your mask. Let's pause and let that settle. You might be asking, why is it so rare to meet someone who lives this way? Why do most people still wander from name to name, story to story, never realizing the answer was waiting in the mirror all along? Because it's hard. Because self-respect, self-love, self-belief, those are the rarest currencies on earth. Because it's easier to be lost in the crowd than stand out in the light. Because there are 1,000 voices telling you who to be, but only one voice that can ever say yes. And tonight, or this morning, or whenever you find this, you're at your own crossroads. That old life, the life of almosts, of waiting, of hoping to be chosen, you could go back to it. You could choose to let this message fade, let the urge for change disappear like static. Or you could answer, you could decide, just this once, that you are worth betting on. Take a pause, look around, not with your eyes, but with your gut, your intuition. What decision have you been afraid to make? What project have you put off, waiting for someone's approval? What conversation is rotting inside you because you don't want to risk the truth? Now, remember, the only one who can answer, who will ever know when it's the right time, is you. You want to know something wild? When you start acting like the kind of person you'd want to spend forever with, the world starts to mirror your energy back. Doors open, synchronicities appear, The people who seek you out aren't looking for someone to save. They want someone who's already building their own rescue mission. Someone who can hold space for both dreams and doubts. That's when real love, real partnership, real friendship arrives, not as rescue, but as resonance, two notes humming on the same frequency. And that's how you change not just your life, but someone else's. Because when you take that first step towards yourself, you become the evidence that it's possible. Your courage becomes a lighthouse for someone else's storm. Your clarity becomes the ground beneath their next leap. You start to attract people who see you, not for what you offer them, but for who you've become, by answering your own call. Pause. Let's rewind for just a moment. Remember the start of this story, the tension, the tease, the mystery of the message. Remember wondering who could possibly be the shocking name. The real plot twist is this: you don't need a billionaire or a world changer to tell you what's true. You already know. You've always known. The person whose name can change your world, that's the person you become, one choice at a time. It's the one who keeps showing up, doesn't break their own word, keeps trying even when nobody's watching. So, will you disappear back into the scroll, or will you take the dare and stay with yourself when things get messy? Will you keep living at arm's length from the one person who can decide your future, or will you look in the mirror, say your own name, and promise, just once, to act like you matter? Let's make this real. Tomorrow, try a tiny experiment. Before you talk to anyone else, talk to yourself. Look in the mirror, really look, and ask if Elon Musk, with everything he's learned, all the insane risks, and all the wiped-out fears, says the most important name is yours. Would you believe it? Would you treat your ideas, your health, your instincts with respect? Would you change your choices, even a little? That's the secret. That's the message. If you do it, if you treat yourself like the one whose name is never left behind, abandoned, ignored, a year from now you'll barely recognize your life. Your relationships will deepen. Your ambition will stop running from failure. Your story will stop being about someone else saving you and start being the launch pad for your own adventure. Before this ends, there is a final thought worth holding on to. Many voices in life compete for attention, and most of them fade without leaving anything behind. Yet there is something powerful in the simple act of staying present until the very end of an idea, a moment, or a message. It reflects a quiet strength that not everyone notices, but it shapes who you become. You are not defined by chance or by the expectations of others, but by the choices you repeat when no one is watching. There is no fixed script for what your life must be, no distant authority deciding your direction. What matters most is how consistently you decide to move forward, even when doubt appears. The future does not arrive fully formed. It is built, step by step, through ordinary decisions that slowly accumulate meaning. You are capable of becoming someone you once thought was out of reach, not through sudden transformation, but through steady commitment. The name you carry today is not the final version of your story. It is still being written, shaped by what you choose next. In the end, what remains is not what was promised, but what you decided to do with the time you were given. What you become is not fixed. It is created in real time, shaped by awareness, effort, and the courage to keep choosing a path that reflects who you truly are becoming complete.